personally, maybe 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. And usually I have, wild dreams and stuff like that, or I'll be restless, like, because I have too much energy. So, like, sleeping for me is like hard. So, I don't really stress too much about it. But understanding this, okay, is like, it doesn't matter. Like, if we turn what is bad into what is good, okay, when we do bad things, we're doing good by default. So, like, if I shift my belief from when I'm craving sweets, I eat chocolate, to when I'm craving sweets, I eat, say protein. Like, I shift that, and the easiest way to do that is every time I crave sweets, I eat protein. And then my mind, okay, this is how your psychology works, it'll start to do association. So now it's going to start to associate the taste of saltiness to the craving of sweet. So instead of me craving sweet, I now crave salty. Do you understand? But it's for the exact same emotional trigger. So if you have an emotional trigger that causes you to crave, for example, drugs or alcohol, like, you can shift that by implementing a new behavior or a new vice. Like, for example, most people who give up drinking tend to pick up smoking, because they're shifting one habit for another. Because it's hard to just go from having a habit to having no habit, because then you feel anxious, because now you've got free time. Now you've got things that you don't do. So the easiest way to do it is you want to merge and shift it over. But if you do this unconsciously, that's how you go from drinking to smoking. Because the stress of going without a habit causes you to forge and form another one. But the emotional stress you're going through forces your brain to crave very, very, like, it craves serotonin, dopamine, and things like that. And the easiest way to get those fixes is through smoking, it's through sugar, it's through bad food, and things like this. So just understand, like, you can shift, okay, your mind, in terms of, you can shift your brain patterns to where when you crave sweet, you just condition it to always get salty. And then what happens is one day it goes, well, why am I trying to crave sweet? I may as well just crave salty. I'm going to get salty. Like, that's the goal, right? Now, if we take this one step further and we use conscious thought, now we can go through and we can start shifting our triggers for everything else. Do you understand? So, like, when I feel stress in achieving a goal, I focus on the work rather than the result. Do you get it? Rather than measuring a result when I feel stressed, I focus on doing more work. And what happens is, because the narrative is, when I feel stressed, I need results. I'm feeling impatient. Do you understand? So when I feel stressed, okay, like the sweet, okay, it's just saying, I need this result. Like I want to see results. I want to see action. I want to see happening. And the thing is, right, it doesn't know the difference between the results and the work. Okay. It just wants something to give positive, like, encouragement to, right? So with like the salty, if I'm eating, say, meat and vegetables every time I crave chocolate, that's okay. Like, you could eat as much of that as you want. You're not going to get fat that way. Like, we get fat when we eat the really bad ones, when we're constantly having the highly processed foods. So just know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to shift from craving highly processed foods to craving highly, like, natural, in terms of, we don't want to be having processed meats, because To be honest, I've never worked in the meatworks, like, but what I've heard about what they use, the parts they use of the animals to make the meat, like, and I grew up eating, like, Devon, and I loved it. Like, I loved the processed meats when I was growing up. Like, it didn't, like I craved them. But the reason we crave them is because they got so much shit in them. Because if we would eat them as they are, they'd be pretty fucking rank and putrid. So that's the thing. But if we understand this, that what we're doing is we're craving a negative, unhealthy, food or behavior, and we're reconditioning it to only offering positive results. So it's not that the only option is positive, but it's like 80% of the time we're going to have the willpower to take the positive. For the 20% of the time that we choose the chocolate, it's okay. Like, there's no point to life. Like, there's no end goal of life. There's nothing to achieve. Like, if you're happy throughout your experience of life, you have achieved the best life. Like, there's nowhere to get to. There's nothing to see. Like, whatever you see is what's meant for you. Do you understand? Like, life and the universe and everything is God, and we are God, and the purpose of life is we are God experiencing God through other things. Do you understand? There is no purpose. Life is a game in the state of play. Like, the whole point of game of life is the play. And understanding this, when we try and create our life's purpose or our meaning of our life, it doesn't, like, it's not about the artificial meaning of saving children is better than, saving dogs or this or that. Like, it's all irrelevant because everything is God. If you choose to save flowers, you're saving God. If you choose to, you know, save humanity, you're saving God. Like, if you choose to save the planet, you're saving God. Like, by default, every action in life, the purpose of every action is God. But you are God. Like, you are every action in life. Because in your life, your experience, you don't understand or experience anything outside yourself. Like, I see the trees, but I don't experience what the tree experiences. I can never. Do you understand? Like, I can't conceptualize it. If I could conceptualize it, it would change my understanding of the trees. Do you understand? Like, it's all about conceptualizing. When we can conceptualize in life the fact that life has no purpose outside of what we give it individually, what would you choose to do? How would you move forward through life in your purpose? So, like, what would it be? So, every path is the right path, but there's only one path for you. It doesn't matter what path it is, you go down it. But just know, like, if you go down that path with selfish intent, in terms of you look to deceive and isolate, and you look to take advantage of others, like, just know, like, you're only making your path miserable. You could be living the greatest. You could be exactly who you want to be, but you're on this path trying to cheat and steal your way to your dreams. Like, there's nowhere to get to. Like, A path is just a direction of travel. No path is greater than the other. No path has more meaning than the other. It's just the meaning we give to it. You can walk down a path at your own leisure. You can walk off and experience other paths while walking down your path. Like, do you get it? Like, you don't want to be trying to walk down 3 paths at once. But if you want to go over and experience a different side of life, go and experience it. And then decide if the way you were walking before was the right way, or if you need to readjust. Like, that's it. So, like, finding your life purpose is just an understanding that, like, purpose is choice. What do you choose your life purpose to be? What do you choose to do? That's it. And then you just do it. That is living. That is life. So everyone should choose in their community, however that, eventuates for each, how they're going to help serve others and connect. Because that's it. That's the purpose of, like, life in society, is connecting with our others and helping our community grow. That's it. Like, it's not about power and control and us having more communities. Like, we can only handle our community. You know what I mean? It's sort of like if you had, the most successful men in life dictating the rules of marriage to all the other men. Like, that's how we're living life. Could you imagine that? If they were saying, you have to do this, this, and this, there is no other way. Like, this is just how miserable. Like, you wouldn't want to do it. But it's the same in life. We sit there and we try and dictate that this is how it has to be everywhere. It doesn't matter. Like, if in your community they enjoy that way of life, that's good enough. Like, there's no, you don't have to work to convert others. Through your action, through your, conscious thought, your beliefs, your values, you will show people how to be like you if they wish. That's it. There's no further, anything further, and you're trying. And once you start trying, you cease doing for yourself. So understand, to do is to simply take the authentic path to you. To try is never to see that path, it's to always overlook it. And it's very important that we understand this, because so many people are living shell lives of themselves in fear of being themselves. Like, it's that simple in life. Like, there's nothing further. Like, we either choose to live the life we want, or we try to live the life we want and fail. It's so funny, because if we think about it like this, neither is any further difference from one another. So your ideal life and your worst life are in the exact same place. You don't have to travel 1,000 miles to find your ideal place. It's a simple fact of, like, realizing and turning around and understanding you were just looking one way. Do you understand? As soon as you turn around, it's yours. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to earn. Do you understand? Like, we don't earn our dream life. It is only through taking the actions that we believe to be our dream actions that we own our dream life. That's it. Like, as soon as we take the actions, it is there. There is no further. Like, as soon as you feel yourself trying to do something, not for yourself, but trying to do something for someone else, you've lost it. The simple truth is you could have just done it for yourself without anything. You don't need anything. Like, you don't need to understand how to hold a conversation with someone, Children do it all the time. Like, the idiocracy of life is that there's only one way to conversate. You know, there's a right way and a wrong way. Like, everyone knows the right way and the wrong way because we enforce it. It's called the respectful way. If you're respectful, you're on the right way. If you're disrespectful, you're on the wrong way, and it usually devolves into a violent fight or a yelling match. Like, it's not that we have to try to do right or wrong, it's just a choice. Do I want to be respectful or do I want to be disrespectful? One has the possibility of all the benefits in the universe, and one has the possibility of getting punched in the face repetitively. Like, the choice is all of ours. Like, do we choose to help empower those weaker than us, or do we choose to stand over those weaker than us and show how much greater we are? Like, it doesn't matter. If you want to stand over and show how great you are, good for you. It doesn't really mean anything in life. The only way it'll ever mean something to someone else is if they allow it to mean something to them. Like, just because you stand over other people doesn't mean anything. Do you understand? Like, everyone has to accept what means something to them and what is meaningful to them. So, like, if you stand over me and tell me you're more superior than me, I have to believe and accept that before that becomes true to me. So, like, in life, it's all just self-imprisonment. You tell me I'm poor, I believe it, so now I lower my thought of myself in alignment with that. Do you understand? Like, in life, we just choose what we want to do. We choose who we want to be, and then we just do it, and we be them. And there's no further. And the whole reward that we get is the joy of being who we wanted to be and doing what we want to do in life, rather than suffering through life trying to make it as someone else. See? We don't need to achieve anything to receive that. As soon as the action is taken, we achieve that. All right. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.